Teofimo Lopez, once again, champion. 3-division world champion, ladies and gentlemen. Teofimo Lopez beat Rolly Romero in a majority decision and almost a robbery, ladies and gentlemen. One of the judges that was blind or probably paid had it 114. Another judge had it 115-113. I don't know what type of fight they was watching. I think they didn't want to credit the body shots of Teofimo Lopez. Like I told y'all when leading up to the fight, that Teofimo Lopez gonna barbecue the ribs of Rolly Romero. Man, that left side was all purple and stuff like that. Rolly Romero, as a matter of fact, he spit shined the belt and he handed it. Matter of fact, Teo snatched it, but he was ready. He was willing to give it up already, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all remember the movie Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence and Dave Chappelle? You remember that scene when he's like, give me the gun, give me the gun. He's like, no, don't hand it to me. I gotta take it from you. And he snatched that. You feel me? That's how it was. Rolly Romero was now ready to defend his world title. He didn't throw enough shots. He stood in the back foot throughout the whole fight. Teofimo Lopez pressed the action. Yes, he did get hurt. Yes, he did get cut. But Teofimo Lopez showed the grit, the determination of becoming a world champion again. He showed chin. He showed courage. He showed that he could overcome not having all his faculties, ladies and gentlemen. Teofimo Lopez is the takeover. He's here to stay, and he's here to take over once again. The welterweight division is back in service with Devin Haney is a champion. You got Ryan Garcia that beat Mario Barry is going to be facing Conor Benn. I believe that Teofimo Lopez is going to be fighting the winner of Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn. Shout out to Keith Connolly, the best pound-for-pound manager in the sport of boxing that has all his fighters in position for great paydays and great championship legacy fights. Ladies and gentlemen, Rolly Romero, I don't know what type of game plan Salas have for him. I know we've been saying that Rolly Romero has become a little bit more of a patient fighter, but he was just too patient with a Teofimo Lopez. He should have go there and try to rough him up, especially in the championship rounds. Yo, put it this way: Rolly Romero in the last round, he was acting like he won the fight. Imagine if he would have just put some couple punches together, the judges would have gave him the fight. It's something about Teofimo Lopez scorecards, especially with Josh Taylor, that was too close. The scorecard in this fight, they was about to rob him. And I know this was more of a Rolly Romero. He had the machine. He had the TG, shout out to TGB, PBC. This was on Las Vegas. Rolly's from Las Vegas. Yeah, at the end of the day, it was scary that they probably would have gave it to Rolly. It would have been an atrocity. But what do I want to see next? Of course, I want to see Teofimo Lopez versus the winner of Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn. Teofimo Lopez, and Teofimo Lopez, I believe it was the 10th or 11th, the 10th round, he hurt Rolly Romero. And Rolly Romero just couldn't figure out how to connect combination or even throw combination of punches. Again, I think that Rolly Romero was spit shot in his belt and gave it up to Teofimo Lopez. And Teofimo Lopez said, just don't hand it to me. I got to take it from you when he took it from him. Ladies and gentlemen, now we got the champions. We got the Ryan, the Devin, and the Teo in the same division as world champion. I believe that Devin Haney probably going to be fighting Pyro and take the belt from Pyro, become a unified champion. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody's in position to make some good money, great legacy fights. Yo, boxing. Of course, I wanted to see more. I want to see some statements next time. You know what I'm saying? And look at, and shout out to Gervonta Tank Davis, because let me tell you like this, man. His resume is aging well. Because in that performance, we know that Tank did knock out Rolly Romero. But look, you don't got to knock out everybody. At the end of the day, I like the determination of Teofimo Lopez trying to knock out Rolly Romero. When I see the effort, that's what I like about the effort. The effort was there to take him out, to knock him out, to hurt him. And that's what Teofimo Lopez actually did throughout the fight. Outboxed him, masterclass, and hurt Rolly Romero and became a champion once again. And shout out to Teofimo Lopez by becoming a world champion, by beating the champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Rolly Romero had arguably the best win of the welterweights of right now in reference to Devin Haney beating Brian Norman Jr., Ryan Garcia beating Mario Barrios. Arguably, Rolly Romero had the best win going into that fight in the welterweight division. So Teofimo Lopez, once again, not only he don't collect no vacant titles. Teofimo Lopez don't get elevated. Teofimo Lopez become a champion because he beat the champion and the best, arguably in the time that he beat them. He beat Richard Comey. He became the undisputed in the lightweight division. Yes, he became the lightweight undisputed. I'm no dummy. We all know what happened when the WBC tried to tamper with the legacy. Became a lightweight undisputed where he beat Vasily Lomachenko at the time that was regarded pound for pound, 1, 2, 3. You can flip it around. Went to the 140-pound division to beat Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor undisputed because Josh Taylor vacated the strap. But we know what it was. We know what it was, baby. He beat Josh Taylor when he was pound for pound, and he went to another division, become a 3-division world champion at the age of 29. They're beating champions. Teofimo Lopez on my pound for pound list, top 7. Y'all already know this is Punch Drunk Boxing, a.k.a. Mr. Woo! Shot himself, a.k.a. El Adobo, el sazón, el borracho, el pastor de boxeo.